Hi everybody. This is an exciting day here in our kitchen. I'm baking a loaf of onion and dill bread with cottage cheese and sour cream. So that's a special bread and can be the feature of the dinner because it smells so wonderful and it's so rich. And it just finished baking, and what I do is I show the end result and then I show you the ingredients and how I prepared it. Now I've got to get my little hot pads out because the handle on this machine, and any bread machine, is going to be super hot. So you got to have a couple of pads to lift the little handle to that, and I use a bottle opener to lift the handle up. Okay, so it's right here. I'm going to grab that and move it over that way. And now it's staying up, and I'll get my hot pads and grab that and pull it out. And we're going to put this on the cooling rack. And this is a 1.5 pound loaf. It's a big one. And there it is. Isn't that beautiful? Now the other thing, you got to remember, you have to soak this immediately. So I'm going to put this little bit of water in here so that paddle doesn't become cemented to the bottom. You certainly never want to store your bread machine with that paddle on there and where you haven't soaked it, and knock that old dough off and everything. Got to do about another 1/2 inch. Just enough to cover the paddle. And that can sit there, and now that paddle will come off easily. So, how in the world was this beautiful? And you see how this is light? That's what you want. You don't want a big, heavy, dense loaf. And this is how this was made. You do one large egg, and I put it in a Pyrex dish full of warm water. You know, not hot, but just warm, because you want your egg to be basically room temperature. So it'll sit in there while you're doing all these other things. So you put your egg in there, and then you get 3/4 cup cottage cheese. I like to use Daisy. And 3/4 cup sour cream. And see, that's why this bread is going to be so good. It's not just made out of water. It's going to be wonderful. And then you mix all that together. And I don't have the little, yeah, here we do. I put the cottage cheese, the sour cream, and 1/4 cup water in this little mixing bowl, and mix it around. Make sure it's all blended up. And then you put that dish in the microwave and heat it for about 30 seconds, you know, something like that, until it's 80 degrees. And what you want to do is use a little candy thermometer or something like that that'll show when you put that in that cottage cheese, sour cream, water mix that it's at 80 degrees. You want that. You got to have that. So you got it at the right temperature. Then 1 tablespoon of oil, whatever you like, corn oil, safflower, canola, whatever, butter, anything. But it's 1 tablespoon. And then 3.5 cups of bread flour. I keep my bread flour in here. 2 tablespoons of dry onion mix. 3 tablespoons of dill weed. And the aroma for these 2 things is just wonderful. When this starts baking, you won't believe it. And the next thing is 2 tablespoons of sugar, not 3, but 2. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. And make sure you use a full level teaspoon. And then 1.5 teaspoons of fast rise yeast. I like to use Fleischmann's. I get it in the jar. It says bread machine yeast on the side, and that's what you want. You can use active dry, but I like the one that says bread machine yeast. So that's 1.5 teaspoons. And that'll make a 1.5 pound loaf And so you'll need a little spatula to make sure that as the dough's mixing, if you want to, you can poke the handle around and make sure the dough gets out of the corners. You'll need something to level off your ingredients so that they're level, whether it's the flour or the sugar or the salt or whatever it is, and level that off. And I believe that is it. And if you have a question, you want me to write this out, I can certainly do that. Just ask me what the recipe was, and I'll put it in a comment to you. But anyway, this is it. This is a favorite around here. It's wonderful aroma, and I think you'll like it. See you next time when we bake another loaf of bread.